Hi everyone, in this video tutorial I'm gonna show you how to reconstruct this crop circle as you can see on the screen. I have the link to both photos of the actual crop circle and photos of the geometrically constructed pattern previously done by Zeph Damon in the video description below, so you can go and download it for yourself. This crop circle was formed in Hannington Wilts on August 4th, 2017. So let's get to it. So as always, the first thing that we need to do is to figure out the beginning circle. And the first thing that I see when I look at this pattern is the the intersecting circle that kind of look like the flower life pattern. So I think what I'm gonna do first is try to trace the intersecting circle and see where that takes us from there. So let's do that. I'm gonna go over here and choose the circle tool with 3 points, and I'm gonna select my first point right there, second point, and then last point. So we have our circle. If I click on it, I can see the center is right around there, and it's looked like it's landed on the perimeters of the circle. If I was to construct a circle that circumscribed all these points. So let's do that so you know what I'm talking about. So I'm going to use the circle tool again, and I'm going to make a circle that circumscribe these points right there. So you see what I'm talking about? The center is on that circle. So I think what I'm gonna do is we're gonna choose this center circle as our beginning circle, and then the flower of life pattern is gonna be constructed by segmenting that beginning circle into equal parts. How many parts? Well, if you look at this, if you count these points, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. We got 12 intersecting circle total. And if you look at the center of that circle is landed in between those 2 points, so we have to double it, right? So like 24 segments total. So that's what we're going to do next. So let's get rid of this circle, and we're going to keep this as our beginning circle. So to divide this circle into 24 equal parts, I'm going to use the polygon tool and enter 24 corners total. And we're going to come over here, we select the center of the polygon over here, which is the same center as the circle. And then we're going to choose our point as that vertical point on the circle. So click. So if I hide the photos, you can see we now have 24 points on the circle that divide the circle into 24 equal parts. and I'm going to create some construction lines based off of that. So I'm going to use the line tool and just select the point, the intersecting point that we just constructed. Keep going around until we have 24 equal parts of the circle. I'm gonna show the photos again. There we go. So as mentioned before, we know that the centers of these intersecting circle that we are about to create are on this center circle right here. However, to construct a circle beside the center, we also need to know the size, so the diameter, right? So let's do that. To do that first, let's trace that circle again. So I'm going to select the first point, second point, and then the last point. Now, you click on that circle, we see that the center is right there. And we can say it's very obvious that the size is the distance between that center and that point right there. So let's do that. So let's get rid of it again. Well, actually, before we get rid of it, let's count how many points are between these two so we know exactly which point we need to use. So here's our center, and we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So 5 points from that center. So now we can get rid of it. And this time we're going to use this tool, constructing a circle by choosing a center and a point. And here's our center. And we're going to go 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. There we go. So to construct the remaining circle, I'm going to take a shortcut. I'm going to select that circle and then I'm going to come over here and choose the rotate from the modification tool. Select the center to rotate about, which is this center right here. And we need 11 because we already construct the first one. And the angle is going to be 30 because we have 12 circle total. 360 divided by 12 is 30. So 30 for the angle. And click OK. There we go. There we go. So we have all the intersecting circle constructed. So the next thing that we can do immediately is to construct these 3 circles, which very clear that they are the intersection of these 12 circles that we just constructed. So use the circle tool. I'm going to select my center right here and select a point at the intersection point. Do the same thing for the second circle and then do the same thing again for the last circle. There we have it. I think the next thing that we want to do is to figure out how to reconstruct these 4 half circles located at the 4 corner over here. So I'm going to zoom in this one. So as always, the first thing I need to figure out is the center of this half circle. And to do that, I'm going to use this 3-point circle tool to trace it. So selecting my first point, second point, and then last point. If you select that circle, we see that's the center. And it's looked to me, well, it's located at some distance from this circle that we have. So let's try to figure out what that distance is. So I'm going to use the 2-point circle tool, and actually let's go back here. Yep, 2-point circle tool. I'm going to select the center, and then I'm going to draw a circle with the point located at that center. Now, I know that if I know the diameters or the size of this circle, then I can figure out the center of this bigger circle, right? So let's do something interesting. So I'm gonna copy this circle, and I'm gonna try to move it around and see if it fit in either of these sections that we already have constructed. So it's either tangent or equal to or at the proportion to some of the geometry that we already have constructed. So it looks like, no, it's not quite fitting in there. This is too big. Yep, not here either. Not here either. Now, it looks like it's, I'm guessing it's half the size of this section right here. So I put it right there. It's about half. So let's try that to see if that's give us what we want. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna try to construct a circle that fit inside that section. So I'm using this 2-point circle tool instead of center and point. And my first point is going to be right there, and then my second point is going to be right here. Now that's a full size. I want only half of that. So I'm going to do the same thing again using the same tool. Select the first point, and then the second point is going to be in the center. Right there. Yep, that's right. That's right at the center. And then we're going to grab this using copy tool and try to move it back here and see how that match what we want. It's quite close. Yeah, it's very close. So I'm going to use that. Yeah, it actually it's perfect. If I zoom in, you can see it's right on the edge. So I'm going to use that. I'm going to get rid of this circle that we traced earlier. And also I'm going to get rid of this one too. We don't need that anymore. So now we know where the center of this circle is. The next thing we have to figure out is the size. And to do that, I'm going to follow the same approach. I'm going to use this trace circle, copy, and try to move it around to see how it's fitting inside the existing geometry. This doesn't fit in there. So I'm seeing something interesting here. So it looks like my best guess is that if I was to draw a circle with the center point located at this intersection right here and tangent to these two edges, it may get me what I want. So if I just drop it in there, you can see what I'm talking about. Right, so the center is the intersection between this line and this circle, and then tangent to these two curves. So let's try that. I'm gonna leave it there for now. And I come over here, use the circle tool, and choose my center point to be right there. And I'm gonna make sure it tangent right there. Perfect. Now I'm gonna grab this and then copy it and move it over. I know the center is right here. It's perfect. Right there. Yep. There we go. So now we can get rid of this trade circle. And we can also get rid of this. So there we have it. At this point, it's natural that the next step for us is to figure out how to construct this circle so that we can, I'm sorry, not that circle, this arc right here. But if you look at the whole picture with the 4 half circle at the corner, is essentially a circle, right? So a little disclosure, that's what I attempted to do when I went through this and I got stuck. And what I ended up doing was I set that aside and move on to the other elements and then eventually come back to it, hoping that once I construct the rest, then it may give me some clue as to how I can figure out how I can construct this circle right here. So all that's to say that it may look to you that I know what the next step's gonna be. Well, I didn't. It took multiple attempts, it's trial and error, and for the purpose of the video, I have to show you what the next step is, but I just want to call that out. I did not know the answer immediately, and all that to say that if that happened to you, don't be discouraged. Don't keep spinning your wheel. Move on to the other elements and then eventually come back, and then I guarantee you will see the answer for that. So let's keep moving here. So I'm gonna move on, and what I end up doing was I construct the biggest circle, as you can see right here if I zoom out. And to do that, I'm gonna try to figure out the distance, or I'm gonna try to draw a circle from that outer circle to the circle that I already have. That one right there. And again, using the same approach, I'm gonna try to move it around and see where it lands. So I'm gonna grab that. There. Okay, you see what I'm seeing? This looks like it is fit inside that section right there. So I'm gonna leave it right here for now. So you see what I'm seeing. There you go. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna grab the circle tool and I'm gonna draw a circle between these 2 points. And then I'm gonna copy that and move it over here. Yeah, it's exactly what it is. So to construct that outer circle, I have to drop it first right here, because I don't know where the center is gonna land. All I know is I have an intersection point right here, right? So I'm gonna drop that right there, And then I'm gonna copy again and then drop it right here. There you go, at the intersection point. So then that would give me an intersection point to construct that circle. But now before we do anything else, let's first get rid of these trace circle. And now I can copy and paste. So I'm gonna copy this circle and drop it right here at that intersection point, and then do the same thing again. This time the center is gonna be at that intersection point. Now I have the point where that circle is gonna be, and I'm gonna come here and use the circle tool to choose my center and then make my circle. There we go. Let's reconstruct this next circle, this one right here. You can see it right there. Yep. We are going to use the same method as before, which is figuring out the distance between the circle that we need to draw and the existing geometric elements that we have already constructed. So for this one, we have a few options here. We can use points on these already constructed circle in the proximity of the to be constructed circle and figure out where the size of that circle fits inside any of the existing elements. So let me demonstrate that. So I'm going to start from the top. So I'm going to try to use this circle first. So to do that, I'm going to use the circle tool. And I'm going to select that point to be the center. And then I'm going to draw a circle out to tangent to the circle that I'm trying to construct right there. And then I'm going to take this and try to move it around just like before. Take that. Doesn't fit in there. Not in here either. Too big for that. I'm not sure. It looks like it's half, but I'm not quite sure. So let's try to see if that is the case or not. To do that, I'm gonna select this circle. Now I see the center of that circle, which lands right on the edge of that circle right there. So that confirms that the circle is half the size of that circle, right? So let's get rid of this trace circle. And then we're gonna use the circle tool to draw a circle half the size. That right there. And then we're gonna copy it. And then we're gonna put it right here, and it's gonna land on that center right there. Perfect. So now we can draw the circle that we want to construct. Using the circle tool again, the center is gonna be right here. And then I'm gonna extend it out to there. Perfect. Now we're down to constructing the last circle of this pattern, which is this one right here. You remember we decided to set it aside and come back to it eventually, and this is exactly what I was trying to say earlier. If you look at it, it's very obvious that this circle that we're trying to construct is the intersection point between these two circles, right? So let's do that. I'm going to use the circle tool again and choose my center, and then I'm going to extend it to right about there. That's close enough in my opinion. So there you have it. That's the entire pattern. The last thing that we need to do is just erase the parts that we don't need. So let's do that. And that concludes this tutorial. I hope you find it useful. I'll see you in the next tutorial.